Welcome back for another week on the couch with Dan and Dane. And this week we're going to talk about the hidden costs when buying your home, i.e., do you just need your deposit or is there some costs that are going to go with it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a bit of a complex question because you're going to have to go in sort of two different approaches. You're going to have to go down the investment route or even for that instance, buying a second or a third property. But there's a different set of rules for the first home buyers, right? You guys have got the gravy when it comes to this. You guys have got the wood on investors every day of the week. So if you think investors are going to blow you out of the water, you have the advantage first home buyers in this circumstance. So I suppose the first one, mate, stamp duty.
Yes.
Stamp duty. So the government always has to get their clip of the ticket on the way through. Doesn't matter what you're buying, but if you're going to buy something, the government wants to put a few pennies in their pocket to say thank you very much for being a resident of my state. So they're going to take a bit of a clip of the ticket on the way through. If you're buying an established property, let's say it's going to be like your $15,000, $16,000, depending on your purchase price. That's a very modest initial investment. But if you're buying a block of land and then building the house out, obviously there's no house yet that you have to account for in the stamp duty. So your price will be way lower when it comes to stamp duty.
Absolutely. Well, the big one with stamp duty too, it does vary from state to state. So remember that. It's not a federal tax or anything like that. It is enforced by the state you're buying in. Okay. So the other one is lender's mortgage insurance, LMI. So if you're not putting down a 20% deposit, you will have lender's mortgage insurance to pay. So that is typically if people putting down 10%, I would say 2% of the loan that's remaining. Right, so you're looking, on a $540,000 loan, you could probably be up around like $11,000 or so as LMI. Big thing with LMI though that I don't mind paying LMI on my properties is it is deemed a borrowing expense, so you can actually claim that at tax time over the first 5 years. Break it up, divided by 5, claim it back. Whereas stamp duty is a real kick in the dick, right? Because you're not able to claim that at all through those initial years.
Yeah, absolutely. So LMI shouldn't be something that stands in your way from getting a property, because just imagine if you've got to put down a 20% deposit on a $500,000 loan, how much longer is it going to take you to save up that extra deposit to get there? I can almost guarantee
it's a moving target.
Yeah, absolutely. The property is going to grow far more than that extra $10,000 to be able to get you into that property sooner. So you might as well pay the LMI, get your property in the market, claim your tax deductions, keep on moving.
Absolutely. And what's the last one?
Mate, legals. Person? Mate, the legal beagles. Legal beagles. And I mean, this is the one I have no issues in paying these fees. I feel like they really earn their bickies when they do this, especially when they're providing good advice. Like there's going to be lawyers out there or there's going to be conveyancers out there that just go through the motions. But obviously then there's also the good people on your side where they're always looking out for your best interests. So when they review the contracts, they're making sure it is skewed in your favor, or at least a very fair contract rather than being one-sided to the seller. But the other thing is that they do is they settle it for you.
They settle it. And the big thing too is when you are looking at their fees, be very, very conscious of when you do have one that is fixed fee versus a fee for purpose, right? So when you are looking at other ones, and there's a few out there, right, they'll look really, really good. Hey, they're only $600 and only this, but every time they send an email, it's $35. If there's a settlement extension, there's going to be another 150, all that sort of stuff. And it's called stacking. So what they tend to do is they sort of get you in on a cheap fee, and then they start stacking as you move through your acquisition process. I'm always a bit anti that because the last thing you want to be doing is being focused on their fee as opposed to actually the asset that you're purchasing. So I'm a big advocate for making sure you just get a fixed fee. If something goes wrong or anything like that, you can talk to the solicitor as much as you want and it doesn't cost you any more.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're your big three things that you got there. You've got your LMI, you got your legal fees, and you got the government's penny pinching the stamp duty as well.
Absolutely, those bastards. All right, see you next week on the couch.